Welcome, welcome. Good evening to everyone. Again, another episode of Generations of the Game. We're at what? Well, episode 14, right?
Yes, sir. 14.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're going to get straight into it. We actually have a special guest for y'all today. And we're going to let Will right now introduce our special guest. Bring the honors on, Will.
All right, man. Appreciate it, JP. So, Generations of the Game, we had episode 14, the first episode in March Madness. So it's only right we bring you a special guest that really, we consider to be war tested, what I'm saying, a legend, in his own right. So I'm going to give y'all a few hints before we bring him up. We got a New Jersey legend, certified, played at St. Patrick's High School, in my opinion, and in everybody's opinion, one of the most prestigious programs in national history. A McDonald's All American, a UNC Tar Heel standout, and a longtime pro. Now, y'all may not know, you know what I'm saying, because everybody's not into hoops as much as JP and I. But without further ado, we got the good brother, Baden Jaxen, formerly known as Dexter Strickland, with us. What's good, brother?
My guy, what's the word, man? Thank you for that intro. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's only right, man. You listen, bro. You major. You know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
You
I
did it
appreciate
all.
I appreciate it. Now it's all love.
All right, so we're gonna get straight to it, man. The prestigious career, that you had, still going and everything. Um, let's kind of start from the beginning, man. You were one of the faces of the story St. Pat's teams, in that time. You know, um, and a part of the 2009 high school class, man. Like, let me ask you, being a part of such a crazy class, John Wall, many others, like, what was some of your favorite matchups in that class?
Um, one that always comes to mind is me and Lance Stevenson.
Yes, sir.
That's my guy. When we went at it with Lincoln High School, it was just a battle every time. Durant Scott. When we played them, even in AAU tournaments, obviously we got a chance to play against each other at Miami when he was at Miami and I was at UNC. John Wall, of course. What was funny about John Wall, I actually didn't get to play against him. I got in trouble. It's crazy because I actually got in trouble in school the day, I think like the week we were supposed to play them. I got in trouble in school and I couldn't play that game. And it was funny because to him in his world, he's thinking that I don't want to play because we play against them. But yeah, I never got a chance to play against John, but I would have loved to have that matchup. Um, Man, there's so many other guys I play with. Derek Favors, DeMarcus Cousins, guys that I played with, guys that I played against in the McDonald American game. I played with John Henson, who went with me to UNC. Just a bunch of guys. Pete Siva, I don't know if you know, that's one of my good friends. It's a couple of guys. I can name them all day, but I would say I would say one in particular matchup that I always look forward to is Lance Stevenson.
Word. Real quick, I gotta ask, and this is gonna segue into my next question. Like, New Jersey's hoop scene is storied, and of course there's the public schools, but the prep schools, right? St. Pat, St. Anthony, St. Benedict's at that time. What was the rivalries like?
And the rivalries is crazy. Of course, St. Pat's is definitely number one, right? But the rivalries were intense. Was fun. Against St. Anthony's, they had Mike Rosario. Um, then we played St. Benedict's, where Tristan Thompson, Mike Kabongo, guys like that. But yeah, the rivalry was definitely intense in high school. Obviously, you probably all get into it, but to witness and to experience a rivalry like that in high school and then jump to college and experience the Duke and the Carolina, I was kind of like ready for that rivalry intensity that the game has because of all of the rivalry games in high school. So, but yeah, man, those are definitely some of the times that I'll never forget.
Absolutely, JP. I know you got some good questions, brother. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely, man. Um, I guess I know another player. You played with Javier Henry. He was in your class too, right?
Javier Henry.
Oh,
Xavier,
Xavier Henry.
Xavier Henry.
Xavier Henry. Xavier Henry.
The problem. He was a problem.
Yeah.
He was a big problem. He's unfortunately he got injured. I think he had a back surgery. He had something with his back. I think it was a freak accident on a jet ski or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, he wasn't able to continue his career. This is from what I understand. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but yeah, man, he was a problem. He was a problem. Smooth, can get to his shot. Big guard.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Henry was definitely a problem.
And I want to talk about a classic game that y'all had. I think it might have been your sophomore, junior year in high school when you played against OJ Mayo's team on ESPN.
That was my freshman year.
That was your freshman year.
Yep.
Man, let me tell you something. That was one of the best high school games I ever saw.
It really was. No, absolutely. It really was. I remember that game like yesterday. I was a freshman. I think I had 18 points. Got a little dunks in there, hit some big threes. I did my thing, but the star of the show was Corey Fisher. I think he dropped 37. Obviously OJ Mayo was OJ Mayo, right? I think he had 47 that game, hitting crazy threes and stuff like that. But Corey had a fantastic game. He just killed that game.
Super underrated.
Won it for us for sure. Him, Jeff Robinson, those guys. Those were my vets, right? Those were my. I think Corey at the time was a senior. If I was a freshman, he was a senior, and Jeff Robinson was a junior, I think, or senior. And that game was crazy. That was the first time. Again, I was a freshman, right? So that was the first time, like me walking into a gym and just seeing like a crowd like that. You know what I'm saying? At a high school game, with OJ Mayo, all the fame and the energy that he had behind him was just, it just made that game crazy. But yeah, that's one of the definitely one of the high school games that I'll never forget. High school matchups.
Man, that was must see, man. That game was crazy, like you said. It was definitely one of the best high school games I've seen.
For sure.
So I guess also we could talk about, let's see, in as far as tournament of champions titles that you won. You won what, 3?
I got 3. Yep, I got 3. I got 1 with Corey, and I got 2 with. Was Kyrie with me? Yeah, I got 2 with Kai, me, Kyrie, and Michael Kidd Gilchrist, and I got 1 with Corey. Yeah, I got 3. Yeah,
man, that's a hell of a lot, man.
We got me, we got Kyrie Irving, we got Michael Kidd Gilchrist, we had Paris Bennett, we had like I said, Corey Fisher, Jeff Robinson, we had Jamel Jenkins, who went to Iona. Our team was stacked. Our team was definitely stacked. And then, we're getting coached by the Hall of Famer. We're getting coached by Kevin Boyle. You know what I'm saying? What more can you ask for? So
facts. So real quick, I do want to ask you, man. I feel like Corey Fisher is probably one of, if not the most underrated guard, kind of from that time. Like what was that like relationship, like that mentorship, like on the floor?
It was big. I would say Corey is a more, there's different type of leaders, right? You got the vocal leaders, you got the ones who lead by example, by their play. I think Corey for me was he was definitely more of a leader that led by his play on the court. But I look to him just, for the influence as kind of like a big brother. I was a freshman, right? I'm 15, 14 years old. Before I got to school, being 15 and 14 years old, I was looking up to Corey Fisher, Jeff Robinson, and to have that kind of brother relationship was important for me, right? Because not only do I have that, but I get to better my game by going against him in practice. Corey, to this day, Corey was definitely one of the best finishers in high school for sure, college for sure, and in the pros. I think, like you said, I think he's very, very underrated. As a player, but, to answer your question, he was definitely a role model for me at the time when I was at St. Patrick's. Definitely a role model for me.
Absolutely. And then, rounding out kind of the conversation around, your high school career, we know you did the McDonald's and the Elite 24, man. What was those experiences like?
Oh, those experiences was crazy. Those experiences was crazy. Elite 24, I think me and Lance was the only two players that played 3 consecutive years in a row. So we got a chance to see. We played against Mike. What was it? Mike Beasley. John Wall was in there, of course. Tyreek Evans.
Y'all had Brandon Jennings too, right?
Yup, BJ was in there. So many league guys. So many guys that we played with like through over the years. Um, and what was the other one? Mike McDonald American is what you said.
Yes.
McDonald American. Just that experience alone was good. We was in Miami too, so that was
Fire.
At that age, going to Miami, I had so much support from my family. My family drove a big RV down there. Like nine of my family members that had Strick's family on their shirt. Everybody with pom pom. So, it was just overall a great experience for me, for sure.
All right.
Jeff. Well, I got a question. I guess the first time I heard about you, I guess you were in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And you're from Rahway, right?
Yeah, I'm from Rahway, yeah.
Yeah. And they said that I remember back in 8th grade, they said you might have been the best leaper in the middle school in the country back then.
Yeah, I had bounce when I was small, man. Like I started dunking when I was in the 7th grade. And I'll blame my step pops for that. He used to tell me to get a broomstick, put it on my back, and just do calf raises all day. And I would just do hella calf raises. And I remember because I didn't start like working out my body until like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. So when I started doing that, like I think I was always naturally gifted. My father, was All-American in football. On my mom's side, my uncle was actually a Hall of Famer for baseball and stuff like that. So I had the athleticism in my genes. But when I started like to actually work on my body and stuff like that, that's when I started to witness for myself how athletic I am and how good I am and how blessed I am. So yeah, I can my first dunk when I was 15 in the 7th grade. Wow. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I remember a lot of dunks you had at St. Pat's, and then I remember, if I'm not mistaken, you won the Elite 24 dunk contest too.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't even think I was going to win that because the other guys. I think I was with Jordan Hamilton. I don't know if you guys remember him.
From Texas. Yep, went to Texas.
Jordan Hamilton, Dominique Cheeks, another Jersey guy. Theodore, what was his first name? Jordan Theodore. I think that was his first name. He played in the league for a couple of years, and I won. I didn't even expect to win. I used to always do my signature dunk by jumping over somebody and windmilling.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought that out, and they gave me the trophy.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like JP was saying, you were always known as a leaper, but I think the dunk contest was a good element for you because of course, compared to an average person, you got like height, but like, compared to like, let's say Jordan Hamilton, who's I think was like 6'7", of course it's going to look like you really like floating, compared to like some of the taller guys.
Yeah, them guys have bounce, man. Yeah, I feel like in a dunking contest, you got to have creativity.
Absolutely.
A lot of people got bounce, but if you only have that creativity, you're gonna lose to a guy like me. So you gotta have that creativity.
What are your thoughts on the NBA dunk contest today that we see today in the NBA, man?
I think more guys should. I think more of like the superstars of like. Let me backtrack on that. I look at different kind of dunking content, right? Like you can watch the NBA dunking contest, you can watch the college dunking contest. Even the league out here, the Canadian league, they have a dunking contest coming up, the All-Star break, and I just feel like the dunks that they do, like I guess because I'm a competitor, I look at it and I'm like, I can do that as well. Like you want somebody that can do things that that a lot of people can't do, and I just don't see that in the NBA now. The guy who won, what's the guy's name who won? The white kid,
McCullough. Yeah, McCullough.
He's a problem. His creativity, you know what I'm saying? His creativity, is obviously his size and the way he can jump like that. He's impressive. But some of the other guys is like, all right, I can do that too, But overall, it's for the fans, right? It's what the fans want to see. Overall, they put on a good show. It's always All-Star Weekend with the dunking contest and the skills academy, the skills challenge, and the 2-point competition. It's always good to see that. So.
Yeah, definitely. In my opinion, I think the last great dunk contest that we saw was Zach LaVine against Aaron Gordon. Man, they went
100%. They put on the show. It was
They
going
put
back
on
and
the
forth.
show.
Yep, it was going back and forth and back and forth, and hopefully we'll get one like that again. But this past one was all right. I like the kid who won though. He got ups.
Oh yeah, he got hops. Definitely.
Oh yeah. So I guess we can transition, to discussing your college career. But before we do, it's kind of a split question. Still tapping into high school, but a little bit on the Tar Heels. So as we mentioned, you did play for two Hall of Fame coaches. Roy Williams and Kevin Boyle. Can you just kind of speak to what that was like, and some of the differences in the coaching styles?
Yeah, I mean, it was a blessing, right? It was a blessing to be on a team like that, and it was a blessing to be coached by someone of that caliber. Kevin Boyle is a GOAT. He's a GOAT of, I think he's underrated as well, but he is the GOAT of high school basketball for sure. So to have, a kid like me that not only is gifted in basketball, but can use the mindset that Kevin Boyle has and extrapolate that to other areas of my life was something that I'm looking for. And I can think about Roy Williams, right? Like these are all coaches, a Hall of Fame coach, and you get a chance to. For me, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I can play the game that I love, be coached by these guys, but also be coached by someone who not only can tell you how to dribble the ball, they can tell you how to go about life, lessons that they teach, within how they teach the game, right? So I say all that to say it was a blessing, and as well.
Absolutely. When you think of a coach, you definitely think of, the X's and O's, but also a leader, of, men and or women, so that's big.
Yeah. Is that my microphone or you guys' microphone? I heard something in the back.
Yeah, I hear something too.
Real quick, JP, mute real quick. Let's see if it's you.
Okay. Let me see.
There you go. It went away. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I think it might be you, JP.
What year
All right.
iPhone you got, man? What year iPhone you got? You gotta take it off.
Man, I got an Android, bro.
Yeah, he the green bubble gang. That's the problem.
I got an Android, bro. I ain't gonna slip here in front.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
He green bubble gang, So let's get into, I know your time as a Tar Heel, man. Obviously one of the most storied, programs in college history. And the history, like all time, is crazy, but your 4 years there, one of, like, y'all were, a movie, must see TV. You were a big proponent in that. But can you just speak to your time as a Tar Heel?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big, it's a big part of my life, right? I committed there my junior year at St. Patrick's, and I just remember like St. Pat's had a small gym. Like the gym that we practiced in was very small, and only a few people can fit. As far as like watching us practice and things of that nature. So I'll never forget the day that Roy Williams came in the gym and sat down and actually watched practice. I'll never forget that day. And I actually had a good day, going against just playing practice. I think we ran 5-on-5. You did some drill work and things of that nature. So I was got a chance to show my athleticism, but just being able to be seen by schools. It was multiple schools at that time. It was, I think, John Calipari was with Memphis. You had Louisville was in there. Everybody, Villanova, J.R. Wright, everybody was in there. And I never forget the time where Roy Williams walked in. I'm like, wow, like North Carolina, the head coach of North Carolina is here. Because as a little boy, I always had, I was a Michael Jordan fan, right? So I'd never forget. I had my cousin when I started living with my grandma. My cousin used to have a picture of Michael Jordan in the top of his room. And I remember as a little kid always looking at that picture saying like, wow, like it must be, it must be cool to play on a level like that. And I think he had at that particular picture, he was with the Chicago Bulls. But I knew that he went to Carolina. I knew, a bit of his backstory, so as a kid looking at that picture, I guess it was like a foreshadow of manifestation, because I always used to look at the picture and, try to put myself there. So, when I got in high school and I got a chance to be seen by, coach that coaches at the same school that Michael Jordan went to, it was, it was surreal. And I'll never forget that experience. So, yeah, I committed there. I committed to North Carolina my junior year. I'll never forget my visit there as well. When I went there with my family, me and my family, it was like 5 of us. We rented an RV and we all drove down there to Carolina from New Jersey. And I stayed down there for 4 days, and it was just heaven to me, man. It was just heaven. I couldn't, as an inner city kid from New Jersey, you don't get a chance to experience certain things like that, being from the places that we're from. So, I looked at it as a privilege. I looked at it as a blessing from God. And I just had so many people in my corner as far as supporting me and making sure that I make the right decision as far as going there. Even guys that played before me, like Danny Green, Ty Lawson, Wayne Ellington, those are guys that I looked up to. So with them going there and seeing how much success they had, for me, it was a no-brainer, right? It was a no-brainer. My freshman year was everything. You got the ups and you got the downs for sure, right? And it's a part of the journey. But I just remember, I remember the first couple of nights as a freshman, just realizing that, I'm by myself, not by myself like I'm all alone, but, I'm becoming more of a man and, stepping into being independent. And, my mom's not there. My dad's not there. I can't, come out of my room and have a conversation with my mom or my dad, just from a supporting standpoint of them not being in the dorm room, if you will. So my freshman year kind of taught me and kind of pushed me towards, being a young man. And I appreciated all of the experiences that I got, obviously on the court, but off the court more so, because, as a freshman in college, you don't really think about it. And obviously I think about it now because I'm older, but, those are the pivotal moments that shape you to be the person that you are. Right. Those are the pivotal moments that shape you to be the man that you truly want to be. So my freshman year was all about, okay, I'm on my own. I have to make this work. Like I have to adapt to my environment. I have to adapt to my team. I have to adapt to this new world, because trust me, a 17-year-old kid coming to a college like that, from the area we from, is like, it's a whole new world out here. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a blessing. In my sophomore year, well, my freshman year was actually, as far as basketball, it was our worst season. And I think at Carolina, it was the first year that Carolina made the NIT and didn't win the NIT. So it was a challenge, because the year prior, you had they won the championship, the 09 team with Tyler Hansborough, Wayne Ellington, Danny Green, all of them. They won the championship last year. So coming in as a freshman, I'm like, shit, we got to live up to that. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to keep the ball rolling as far as the expectancy of us doing well prior, for the season prior of us winning a championship. So the pressure was there on the court from, the fans. The pressure is there from me as an individual being by myself. And I would say I wouldn't trade it for nothing. We had a great leader, Roy Williams. I had great teammates, me, John Henson, the Rare twins, Travis and David, Leslie McDonald. Those were my freshman buddies, coming in. So I couldn't ask for more. I couldn't ask for more support. I couldn't ask for a better situation as far as my first year being a college student. My sophomore year, obviously we had. Well, let's jump to my junior year, because that was the year that we were supposed to win the championship. We were supposed to win the championship this year. It was me. You had Harrison Barnes, John Henson, Tyler Zeller, Kendall Marshall, Reggie Bullock, PJ Harrison, James Michael McAdoo. We was stacked, bro. We was stacked.
Super
And
team.
I feel like if I didn't, because I tore my ACL, right? Leslie tore his ACL. Kendall breaks his wrist. John hurts his wrist in a tournament. We ain't have nobody, and I just feel like that was the year we were supposed to win. But the experience, man, it's surreal. It's surreal. We felt like, in all due respect, we felt like gods. We felt like kings. And I think Carolina did a great job at making sure we felt like that. You know what I'm saying? Not in we're better than, everybody else, but making us feel that we're a part of an organization that really cares about us. You know what I'm saying? So, my college experience as a player was good. I had some days where you go through it, right? It's about life as far as, back and forth with, there's plenty of times where me and Roy got into it, during practice and, things of that nature. But I feel like if I didn't have those experiences with him, as far as, nothing disrespectful, just like, other than the guidelines of teaching, right? Me being stubborn, me being a stubborn athlete, and him being a coach that genuinely cares about me. Sometimes we got into it. And I think those incidents helped me to be the person that I am now. Like the mindset that he gave me from being at Carolina is something I'm very appreciative of. So even to this day, I talked to him. The last time I talked to him was at the Duke and Carolina game when we beat Duke at Carolina this year. I got a chance to talk to him, and he's still the same guy. He's still the same guy. Most of the guys up there, I still communicate with. Reggie Bullock is one of my best friends. I still keep in contact with Justin Watts, John Henson, a lot of those guys. So, I say all that to say Carolina was definitely, has definitely personally for me has been a pivotal experience in my life that I'll never forget. It definitely shaped me to be the person I am today.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate that insight. And I will say, from a place of being unbiased and as a true hoops fan,
Yeah.
I do feel like I can speak for all hoops fans, man. The injuries you guys faced in your junior year, we all were robbed, man. I feel like the world wanted that,
Yeah,
UNC
man.
Kentucky clash, man.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That year was it, man. That year was it. I can't talk too much.
Mhm.
I can't talk more about it, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, man, y'all did the damn thing, man. Special team for real.
Yeah, definitely. I want you to give the people the insight. You were part of this Duke Carolina. What is that rivalry like from an insider's perspective?
Bloods and Crips. That's what it is over there. Bloods and Crips. That's what it is over there. Nah, for real. But like, for me, it was a different experience. And let me tell you why. Because I got my boy, Kyrie goes there, right? Kyrie's my dog. Then at the time, my sophomore year, I started dating Callie Rivers, which is Austin Rivers' sister. So it's like the connection with that. So even though it's like Bloods and Crips, it's like I gotta be cordial because my boy go there, and you know what I'm saying. So it was a good experience for me overall. But yeah, like I said, it's really Bloods and Crips over there. Like I remember as a freshman, just walking to class and stuff like that, and everybody started to recognize who you are, and you're on the basketball team, and all they care about is beating Duke. They don't care about any other ACC team. They don't care about the tournament. They don't care about none of that stuff. Just beat Duke. And of course, you see it on TV, right? You see the rivalry, you see the intensity of the game on TV and things of that nature. But when you're actually in it, it's a whole different experience. Even just a few weeks ago at the Duke and Carolina game, I was talking to Melvin Scott, who actually played there. And I was telling him how the experience of watching it is so different from actually being in the game. You know what I'm saying? That was my first time that I went to a Carolina game, and I got to see, from a fan perspective, the game. And it's just, the intensity is just completely different. It's just completely different. You don't really take in that there's 20,000, 22,000 people watching you, and everybody's looking at you, during a game. You don't really look at it from that perspective, So as a player, it was just surreal. I remember at the Duke. I'll tell you a funny story. I remember at the Duke game, um, they hit a big shot on us, and this was at Cameron, and the gym was so loud that it was like a ring in your ear. Like I couldn't hear anything. And I think Coach Williams was standing like 10 feet away from me screaming. I just couldn't hear nothing. And they was screaming so loud. It's like a ring, like you can't hear nothing. And the gym was like shaking a little bit because they keep their gym small, for a reason. But the intensity of the game is unmatched. That rivalry is the best rivalry in sports. In complete, all sports, and just that experience was crazy, man. But yeah, Bloods and Crips for sure. Bloods and
So
Crips for sure.
go ahead, JP.
Now I was going to say the Bloods and Crips are going to be getting on this weekend too. So
Yeah. We're gonna see. We're gonna see
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I know North Carolina basketball is like a fraternity.
Yep.
What is that like as far as like the legends of North Carolina? Have you ever spoke to any of the legends like Jordan, Bob McAdoo, Bobby Jones? I know Larry Brown played there, Charlie Scott. I know I'm going back, Phil Ford, all them. That were they like mentors towards you?
Yeah, we see Phil Ford all the time. He's always at the games. I'll tell you a funny story about Mike. So we was at the I think we was at the Coliseum in Greensboro. We was in a tournament, and it was me, John Henson, Reggie Bullock, Tyler Hansborough, and Leslie McDonald and Harrison Barnes. And we walk in. I think this is on video on YouTube somewhere. We're walking to the bus, and and Jordan was outside. Jordan was like right by the bus. He had like this little ATV that he had, like the little motorcycles, the 3-wheel motorcycles. He was playing with it. He was playing with his remote control, and we was walking on the bus, and he turned around and saw us, and Jordan told Harrison, he was like, "You better stop wearing them goddamn Kobe's too. I'm gonna tell your mother." So we started laughing. We started laughing, and Harrison was like, Harrison was like, "Shit, well, send us some shoes." And he was like, "Yeah, I ain't got no Jordans." He was like, "We want some retros." So Jordan was like, "You win the next game, I'll send you anything you want." We was like, "All right, bet." So he shook our hand, and then we actually won that next game. And he sent the whole team cool grades. So
That's fire.
that was dope. That was dope. And I feel like that was a pivotal moment for the shoe game at Carolina as well, because it's crazy, because I remember I used to have like little debates and, going back and forth with our equipment dude, because, there's other schools signed by Jordan. You got Georgetown, you got Marquette, things that, schools like that. So at the time I'm like, yo, like we should have retro. We should have Jordans that no other school has, because Jordan went here. You know what I'm saying? I understood it from the perspective of a business, that they want, the players to wear the team Jordan so they can promote them at they can promote them like, on television. They can promote them at Foot Locker and get the kids to buy the team Jordans and things of that nature. But still, we should have retros. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the school that Michael Jordan went to. And I actually started to wear a lot of retros during the games, the Cool Grays, the Fives, the Space Jams. I just started wearing all of the retros, and it's kind of shifted towards the Team Jordans into the retros. So
That's some dope insight into that, because
yeah.
I always wondered about that, from a legacy perspective, right? Like let everybody else wear the Team Jordans, even now, the Luca shoe or whatever, UNC should have the fire, you know what I
Facts.
mean?
Facts. It's only right? Like,
Like
come
the
on, man.
Pantones, all that type of stuff, like that should be exclusive to
I
y'all.
remember one year they sent us the baby blue fours. Oof,
Hmm.
sick. But yeah, they started those guys, they spoiled now. And we talking about my career 10 years ago at Carolina. They right now they get anything. You telling they got baby blue, any pair of Jordans, they want, they get now. So I go there, I'm like, damn, y'all get this, y'all getting that. Yeah, they spoiled now.
Y'all paved the way for them, man.
Yeah, for
That's how
sure.
it go.
For sure.
So kind of talking about, the shoes and kind of a changing of the way uh the athletes are, treated, of course y'all were treated well, coming up, but now like this could transition into, I want to get your thoughts on NIL.
Okay. Just you want me to just
Just
okay,
like
yeah.
it, just in general, how do you feel about it?
I think what's funny is that when we were in college, I remember we used to have discussions about like why are we not getting paid? Just like locker room talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we not getting paid? Like, what are we doing different from NBA guys? You know what I'm saying? As far as how much money we're generating for the university. Why are we not receiving some of this? So it was always talks about the NIL, like the concept of NIL. It's been talks for decades now, and I think that's why they finally shifted towards college guys being able to get money, right? Because when you think about it, it's like, I mean, it's unfair. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can we as players generate so much money for this university, and the coach is getting paid $12 million a year? Like, can these guys get some type of payment for how much money they're generating, to the organization? And I think a lot of people started to realize that, and a lot of guys started to step up and say something. But I do remember, us having that talk in the locker room, like, yo, like we should be getting, we shouldn't be going to bed, not going to bed hungry, but worrying about if we have enough money to pay for a meal. Like on that level, we shouldn't have those concerns at all. But fast forward to today, I think it's good. I do think it's good. I think it can be detrimental to some players who only, how can I say this? How can I articulate this? I feel like some players, it varies, right? Because you got players now who are reluctant to go to the NBA because they're getting taken care of by the NIL. And it's like, okay, so what are you in it for? Are you in it to get better as a player, or are you in it for the money? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously I'm not going to name no guys, but there's a few guys that I have on the back of my mind that I think about that should have left college, that stayed. And this is my personal opinion, that should have left college but stayed because I think they're getting blessed with NIL deals. You know what I'm saying? And it's good. Like at the end of the day, you want to play professional. The majority of the guys who want to play professional obviously wants to better their life from a financial standpoint, right? But when you give a kid like that, when you give a kid so much money and the mindset that you have at that particular age, is it beneficial for that kid? If that kid has the proper supporting cast around him, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? But the majority of those kids don't have the understanding of what to do with that kind of money. I'll speak for myself. When I was 19, 18, and I would have got a big NIL deal, right? Because I'm McDonald American. I'm fourth in the nation in my class. I'm a big name. My mindset at that time, I'm glad there wasn't NIL. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as me having control and me having access to that kind of money. Now, I have a great mother, I have great parents, I have a great supporting cast, so I would never, been running around with my head cut off. But I say all that to say a lot of people don't have that supporting cast. So I think the NIL is good, and it can be potentially bad to, athletes and guys that don't have the right people in their circle. Because I know a lot of league guys who made it to the league and didn't have the right people in their circle. They didn't have the right friend. They didn't have the right friends supporting them, and they spent all their money. Whether it was at strip clubs, whether it was at clubs, just spending because they have it, and now they look up, or they look in their bank account and there's nothing there. The friends are gone. There's nothing in the bank account, and they're struggling in different areas of their life. So to answer the question, I think NIL overall, I think overall is beneficial. It can be beneficial, but I think too much of anything can be detrimental, right? So I just think it depends on the type of kid that is getting that attention.
No, that's a very well articulated response, for sure. Because I
Mhm.
mean, listen, I wasn't a hooper, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
of course in the park in New Jersey we all hoopers, but not to that level. But I'm thinking just from being a college kid getting a refund check, right? You feel like you hit the lottery. So I can only imagine, you getting, racks, in
Bro,
an NIL deal,
$1 million, guys getting
Right.
$1 million. You get guys getting thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, you just got to make sure you got the right mindset, because what's money, right? Money is an amplifier. It makes you more of who you are, right? So if you don't have the mindset and you don't have the understanding of what to do with it, you can hurt a kid. You can hurt a kid if a kid doesn't understand like how to move out here. If he doesn't have an OG that's giving him game on how to move, and don't do that. Like, do this. You know what I'm saying? Put your energy towards that. If you don't have that in your circle, it could be detrimental for a kid. So it's a give and take as far as the NIL is good, but the benefits of it is good, but who are you giving it to?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Go ahead, JP. I saw you coming off mute, bro.
Oh nah, those were some very very good points you made about NIL, man. Because I this is me talking, not anybody else but me. I
Yeah.
think the NCAA should be disbanded, man. Personally,
You
because
saying the NCAA should be banned?
yeah, they should be disbanded as far as I'm concerned. Because I think in some ways they've hurt kids in some ways more than they help. Like as far as kids from financially depressed backgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
through sometimes through academic stuff. That's why I'm glad to see NIL deals taking place and stuff. In this climate and stuff, and because you think of players from the past that like you said, your era and going back, that could have been financially, could have better finances. And not only that, but a lot of kids, not everybody comes from a middle class or privileged background.
Yep.
Some of these kids come from neighborhoods that are like war zones.
Yep. Absolutely. 100%.
And so for don't kids need to be compensated. And like you said, you're bringing in billions and billions of dollars. March Madness is bringing in billions and billions of dollars. I'll never forget that time years ago when they interviewed Chris Webber back in the day when he was at Michigan. And it might have been when he just got into the league. And he said, man, my jersey is selling like hotcakes everywhere. And I can't even get a percentage of that jersey off my blood, off my sweat and blood.
Modern day slavery, man. Modern day slavery.
Exactly. For real. Exactly. And that made me think like, damn, like that's real deep what he was talking about. And that's why the NCAA always had problems with coaches like Jerry Tarkanian, because they were very pro player and wanting the players to get the benefit of the doubt and stuff like that there, man. So definitely I just like the NIL deals going on. I do wish that players from yesteryear, your eras and stuff, you guys receive some of this as well.
Yeah. Something, I forgot the name, but something just got passed where I want to quote it correctly. I forgot there's a bill that just got passed, something of that nature, that all of the guys that went to the top 5 schools that didn't get the NIL deal are like is like available for it now, something like that. Something that I actually told my agent to look into, but I think they got like a budget of like $4 billion to where like all of the guys that were at like a school like Carolina, like the top 5 schools, I believe, or top 10 schools, like those guys should be compensated, for how much money they generated for these universities. There's something out there like that. I have to do more research on it, and I don't want to talk too much on something that I'm not 100% on. But there is something out there that something I was having a conversation with one of my friends, one of my close friends about. There's actually a budget of like $3 to $4 billion that they're trying to give to the athletes that missed out on these NIL deals, the guys that already went to these universities, I think for the past 10 years or something like that.
No, that's dope. I think of that.
So yeah, my name, I'm definitely signing my name on that.
You should be the first name on the list, bro.
As you should, definitely.
Yeah.
That's just like the military, like anybody that serves, like the veterans benefits, you're entitled to it. You guys, you paved the way,
For sure.
for what where the game is now, so you definitely deserve to profit off of that.
And I think it's changing, man. Like it's so unfortunate that you have these organizations who benefit off of the players and don't compensate the players. And I think it's shifting. I truly think it's shifting. I think NIL is a big example of how it's shifting, because when you have so many players that are having those locker room talks that me and my teammates were having in the locker room, those locker room talks get to move to the office talks. And I think it needs to get it needs more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys should be. I mean, we can get into it, but just from not even from the college perspective, but overseas as well. I've been playing overseas for almost 12 years now, and I just feel like we can get. I know you can probably ask questions about my overseas career, so we'll get into it. But just the compensation that these guys should be experiencing from these organizations should shift, because, like I said earlier, I feel like it's a bit of modern day slavery for real.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
honestly, man, you get a perfect segue,
yeah,
so we can get to it. Your pro hoops career, man, like you said, you've been at it, about 12 years now. Got to see, some places around the world. Before we get into, the basketball of it, man, what was, some of your favorite places that you've been blessed to see?
man, you said the right word. Blessed. I've been all over the world, bro. My first year out of Carolina, I played in France. Um, I played in France. I played in Greece. I've played in Qatar, in the Middle East. I played in. I'll just name it off. Europe, of course. Um, Within Europe, I played in Ukraine, uh, Riga, Latvia, Cyprus, Russia, Moscow. Moscow was lit. That's actually one of my favorite places I played, is Moscow. Um, um, Tunisia. I played in Tunisia, Africa last season. This season I'm in Canada. I feel like I'm missing two. Yeah, I played in like 8 different countries um, for the last 11 to 12 years. So it's definitely been a blessing to, just be able to play the game that you love and travel at the same time and just see the world. And I'm in these countries for 6, 7, 8 months, so, I get a chance to really experience, what these different cultures, meet different, different teammates. So I've always been signing, 1-year contracts. So to have new teammates and meet new guys and develop relationships all around the world is a blessing for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, man, what would you say about what it takes to make it, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, just as a pro, but the overseas grind, I've heard that it's a little different, it's in it. The easiest way to word is it's not for the weak, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, you hit it on the head. It's all mental. I wouldn't say it's all mental. The majority of it is mental toughness. If you don't have the mindset to have that resilience and that tenacity to keep going, you're going to fail. You're going to fall victim to the given circumstances. You're going to look at. I'll tell you from personal experience. When I first went overseas, I'm fresh out of Carolina, and I was playing on a Pro B team in France. Boulogne-sur-Mer. So I was getting paid like $4,000 a month in this foreign country that I've never been to. Don't know nobody out there. Don't know the language. Don't know the team. Don't know the coach. Don't know anybody. And I'm just out there by myself. And it was a reality check, to be honest with you, because at that time I'm like, well, shit, I just came from Carolina. Like, all of my homeboys that I just started with on the team, they in the NBA, right? So I'm looking at my given circumstances and I'm blaming other exterior things, um, and I would say that was definitely a pivotal moment for me as well as an individual, because now I'm really, so at first, I'm a freshman going into Carolina, I'm by myself, right? Now I'm a professional in a foreign country by myself. So it's a whole new level as far as um, being independent, if you will. So with that circumstance, if you don't have the mindset to if you don't have the mindset, if you don't have the mental toughness to get through those circumstances, you ain't gonna make it. You know, a lot of guys would tell you that. A lot of guys who played overseas would tell you that, because those are the little things that you have to go through. It's not just basketball. You know, it's, you know, the challenges that you have with understanding your coach, the challenges that you have with understanding the culture. Your family's not there, you know, so when you go to the games, you know, you look up in the stands, your mom ain't there. Your girlfriend may not be there this week. You know what I'm saying? Your homeboys ain't going crazy on the sideline. You're not, the things that motivate you during the game are not there no more, you know? So you got to put your mind in a place where you got to motivate yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to go mentally in a place where you can keep that resilient, and you can keep that resilience, you can keep that motivation to continue to go. Because if you don't, you're going to fall victim to it. And for me, my personal experience, I had to change my reasons. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. When I first started playing basketball, of course I was good at it, right? And I had that understanding that I'm good at it. But what motivated me more is just like, I saw how happy it made my mom. I saw how joyful my family was coming to my games and, you know, seeing me put on a show. So when you go into a foreign country, you don't see that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have that support no more. So what you doing it for? You know what I'm saying? And for me, thank God that I love the game in general. You know, I truly love to play basketball. So I was able to block out the things that I didn't have, as far as my mom's and as far as, you know, my girl there supporting me. And I had a different mindset. I had a different approach to it. And I also started to not just look at it from a basketball standpoint, but I started to look at it like a video game, to be honest with you. Like, okay, this is my character, right? I have the opportunity to better myself by doing X, Y, and Z. It's not an ideal situation, but I'm going to make the best of it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, being the fact that if I do make the best of it, ultimately I'll become a better person in general, right? So that's the mindset that I have, that I still have when I go overseas, you know, to these foreign countries, and I meet new people and I develop new relationships and things of that nature. If I didn't love the game, I wouldn't never play this long. So I would say, you know, to your question, you have to be mentally tough. You have to have the mindset you have to have that mental strength, you know, because the game is the game. You know, you got to dribble a basketball and put it in the rack. That's everywhere around the world. What separates, you know, the greats from people that's just average is the mindset. You know, believing in yourself, believing that you can play and you can make the best of any situation, no matter what the circumstances are. You know, so for me as an individual, I had to develop my mindset. I had to become stronger mentally, and being by myself in foreign countries and having to deal with, you know, those certain circumstances, I was kind of, you know, forced to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
JP, go ahead, brother. I know you got more.
Yeah, I want to make a statement. Then, of course, you know, a question, because you know, a lot of people don't understand, as you say. And I look, I never played any type of level that you have, nowhere near it.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, when you're young, when I was younger, I used to say that, oh, this guy's a bum, this guy's a bum. But when you look at players as yourself, you played in Europe, you've had a successful career.
Yep.
The NBA. Only 4,000, me and Will, we talk about this all the time. Only 4,000 players in the history of this world of what, 7 to 8 billion people have ever played in the NBA.
Yeah.
How is that guy a bum?
Yep.
If you play in Europe, which you have for 12 years, how are you a bum when you play professional basketball? And you know, and I've gotten out of that mind state over the years and said, oh, this guy's a bum or whatever. When you're playing a game that you enjoy, you make your money, you got financial freedom. I mean, it's really the best job in the world.
Facts. It's definitely
You know, it's the best job in the world. So, you know, in that aspect, you know, I'm going to ask you the question.
Go ahead.
What do you think? Since you've been over in Europe,
Yeah.
What do you think of Victor Wembanyama?
Oh, he's a freak. You give him 5 years, he a cheat code. What is he? 7? What is he? 7'5", ain't he?
7'4", yeah.
7'4", moving like KD
Mm-hmm.
already. He young. What, he
Mm-hmm.
19?
Yep.
You get at. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. You go ahead, press rewind. When in 5 years, him in 5 years is going to be, if he stay healthy, right? If him in 5 years, I picture him like a KD mixed with a Giannis, mixed with do I want to say his name? I want to say Magic Johnson. Picture KD, Magic Johnson, and Giannis into one. That's how I see that young boy for the Spurs, for sure, 100%. And when I mean 5 years is that he's going to develop intellectually. He's going to know the game more because he already has an idea of it. You look at what he's doing now, right? As a 19-year-old, so he's going to not even on the court, but off the court, he's going to develop as well, right? That's a big factor that plays into how these guys get better as a rookie coming in, going to get stronger. He's going to get that man strength as well. You know what I'm saying? So you coupled all of that together, you're going to be a freak. You're already a cheat code now. You just put muscle on him, put that Giannis muscle on him, put that KD scorer mentality on him. And I think his passing is underrated too. So you mix that Magic Johnson. Maybe Magic Johnson is a stretch, but you mix that into his game as well. He cheat code.
Right. But let me ask you this question. This is another thing that people have been talking about lately, and I don't think people understand when people say this. I'm going to ask you this question.
Yeah.
As a prospect, we're not saying he's going to have that type of career or whatever, but as a prospect,
mm-hmm.
You had the number one pick in the draft. You had Wembanyama or LeBron James. Who would you take as your number one pick?
Wemby. Yeah, Wemby. You're talking about what I know of LeBron James now, or are you talking about as a prospect?
Like as a prospect, not his career, but as a prospect. They're the same age,
right?
Coming in, you know what I'm saying? If you're the number one pick, who would you take?
Wemby.
I agree. I agree with you.
Wemby for sure.
I agree, and I don't think nobody's saying that he's going to reach LeBron James' height. We don't know that yet. But as people don't understand it. People can't comprehend nowadays as a prospect. You know what I mean? Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
Talking about the potentiality of their career, right? Wemby, he's 7'4", he's 19 years old, and he is a scorer already. Like you pack muscle on him, you pack basketball IQ that he's going to get, naturally just from continuing to play over and over and over again. He's going against vet guys. He's going to have vet guys on the team. He's going against pro guys. Wemby, for sure. Taking nothing away from LeBron, nothing at all. But yeah, I'm a rock with Wemby for sure. If I'm an owner of the team and I want to invest in either guy, going Wemby.
I like that because JP and we talk about Wemby on the show quite a bit, and a point I was making last week is just I saw a tweet and I sat and I thought about it, and it wasn't a hot take or anything. It was simple. It literally just said Wemby is literally the worst he will ever be right now.
Oh,
yeah,
I can see that.
And the fact that, like you said, he's going to improve year after year. He's learning from a Hall of Fame coach, one of the best organizations in the league. All they really need to do is get him some players in there that will give him the ball. It's over, like
his potential is skyrocket.
Absolutely.
Down. The potential is just there from the height perspective, from the youth perspective, from the organization he's with the Spurs. Like you can't ask for anything better.
Facts. I know Vic Wemby's your guy, JP. You got any more questions on Wemby?
Nah. He just answered everything for me. So when folks up here want to debate, all I gotta do is play this right back for him. That's all I gotta
Yeah,
do.
he a
Nice.
beast, man. He a cheat code for sure.
All right, so two more topics, man. We value your time, so
Yeah,
um,
appreciate it.
as one now, it's crazy, man, because we around the same age. I was class of '09 as well.
Oh,
So
word.
now that we are becoming an elder statesman, right?
Yeah.
What is like your thoughts? Are you still kind of tapped in with the Jersey hoop scene?
Not as much as you think I would be. I do have plans of starting an agency. So that's gonna push me towards being more involved in the New Jersey hoops
Hmm.
world. There are a couple of guys that my cousin is a head coach of an AAU team, so he keeps me like fresh on the new talent that's coming up. I forget the young kid he's from New Jersey. He's going to Carolina next year. Light skinned kid. He went to I saw him play at Roselle Catholic in Jersey. I can't remember his name right
We
now.
talking
Light skinned kid.
about is it Simeon Wilcher?
I think that's who he is. He got dreads.
Yeah, he's actually at St. John's though. Now he was supposed to be at
That's-
Carolina. He ended up
Oh, he
decommitting.
decommitted.
Yeah.
Wow. See, there goes.
Now
I just
you
told
said
myself that I'm not really into it. So
not. So Simeon was supposed to go there, but there's another kid that played in New Jersey. Elliot Cadeau. He actually
Elliot
reclassed,
is there.
and he's there now. Right. So
Yeah, Elliot.
you
Yeah,
know.
he. You want to talk about him because that's my favorite player at Carolina
Oh,
right now.
absolutely. Let's hear about it.
He's my favorite player. He is my favorite player at Carolina right now. I remember I was there at Carolina. I was training. I was just shooting by myself. It was like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm shooting on the shooting machine that kick the ball out to you. I'm there by myself, dolo, just shooting. Like I think at that time I was getting like 1,000 shots up or whatever. And he walk in, and he go to the other side of the basket. He go to the other side of the court, and I asked him, I'm like, yo, you want to shoot? So we shot for like 30 minutes. And I'm just talking to him, I'm saying, talking to him while we shooting, just conversating and stuff like that. Obviously we connected, because we both from Jersey. But great kid, super athletic, super talented, super gifted. Sky's the limit for him. I think right now he's having a great freshman year. I think RJ is being a great senior for him,
Mhm.
to follow in his footsteps. But I can't wait for next year because I think this year for him was kind of like, all right, this is new. I'm playing a new role. We talked a little bit, when I'm up there working out, and he mentions that it's a challenge for him to get adjusted with everything because he's stepping into a new role. Like he's not that guy like he was in high school, right? So I understand. Obviously, I understood coming in as a freshman. I got to look up to Larry Drew and these other guys that was in front of me. So I already understood where he was coming from. And I just told him, like, it's not that you're taking a back seat. You just gotta find your niche, right? RJ, Armando, Ingram, those are the guys at Carolina right now, right? Everybody knows who you are. You're the freshman. You're the best freshman on the team. To me, you're the best player, but you don't have to feel like you need to be that player right now and put so much pressure on yourself that it alters your game. Just from me being a fan of his, like I see there's moments where he wants to take the shot, but he's a little reluctant because he's afraid of what with the reaction of the coach or the reaction from the criticism that he may get from the fans and things of that nature. And I told him, you got to block that shit out, bro. You got to block it out. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to shoot that shit. I really told him, like, yo, shoot that shit. You a shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely don't want the energy of you can't shoot, because energy is real. Thoughts are real. If people don't think that you can shoot, it's going to affect you. You know what I'm saying? So break that shit and shoot it. If you miss, you miss, right? But don't be afraid. You can't, like, I don't want to say that he's afraid. He's not. I don't think he's afraid at all. I just think sometimes can be in his head too much, and he doesn't take the shots that he knows he can make. You know what I'm saying? And I say this as, again, I say this as a true fan of his. He's my favorite player on the team. I think next year it's his breakout year. You guys are really going to see, and when I say you guys, for everybody, really going to see like his athleticism, his knowledge of the game, his IQ, his experience, all in one next year.
Absolutely.
But I love Elliott. I love Elliott.
Now, like the fans that aren't, haven't been following him, they definitely in for a treat because his AAU teammate, Ian Jackson is coming. Carolina, they're losing a lot of experience, but they got some dogs that's about to go crazy.
Yeah. I like. I was talking to Hubert Davis. He was telling me like he gets those dogs from the East Coast, from New Jersey, from New York. That's the area he's from. So. That's where the dogs is at. So yeah, I'm glad that they do a lot of recruiting up there and brought a guy like Elliott in.
No, absolutely, man. You recruit, the East Coast, man. You gonna be all right.
Facts.
So, JP, real quick before I get into the last topic, did you have anything about the current state of Jersey?
Jersey. The only thing I got to say is Jersey, year in and year out, got some of the best high school basketball anywhere in the country.
That's a fact.
And the man we have on with us right now, one of the best to come out of the state.
Appreciate it.
The high school history, one of the best programs, one of the best teams you ever played on. I mean, the talent that was on his team at St. Pat's was amazing.
We were stacked.
I remember I used to go to the primetime shootout. Used to see y'all play there. I used to be like, damn, they got you said Kid Gilchrist, Kyrie Irving, and it was like, damn, and like you said, about 5 or 6 other Division I players. It's like, damn, they are loaded.
Yeah. Raymond Miller was our recruiter. He was assistant coach, but he's one of the best recruiters. He works for Orlando Magics now, but he went and got everybody. If there was a game that had a top prospect at it, Ray was there. So all of the talent that I went there, I went to St. Patrick's because of Ray. So all of the talent that came through St. Patrick's, the majority of it was from Ray. Ray Miller. He works for Orlando Magic.
Let me ask you a question. If you didn't go to St. Pat's, which high school would you have gone to?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I swear I don't. I probably would have went to my local high school, Rahway, New Jersey. In Rahway. I talked to Ray when I was like in 8th grade. I think at that time, like they rated me like the number 1 8th grader in New Jersey. And at that time, I didn't know, I'm just hooping. So I wasn't even into rankings and all that stuff. But yeah, I never forgot. I had a conversation with Ray in the park. We met in a parking lot at Target, and I was with my mom, and we had a discussion. I was in 8th grade, and at that time, I'm a kid. You know what I'm saying? I know what's going on, but I don't know what's going on. I know that I'm about to go to high school, and that high school, St. Patrick, is obviously known for their organization. They were known for their team. So as a kid, I'm like, well, okay, I get a chance to go to a great high school that has a great basketball team. All right, cool, let's go. I never really had an idea of going to St. Benedict, St. Anthony's. That those schools never. I didn't have to like weigh it out, like what I'm saying, like I did with college. Like, okay, should I go get coached by Roy? Should I go to Florida and mess with Billy Donovan? I like Tom Izzo. Should I go to Michigan State? I never really had that type of decision making with high school. It was just like St. Pat's. All right, let's get it.
All right, great question, JP. Hey, shout out to the man that made the recruiting magic happen, man. I know he had MKG taking a train, to hoop with y'all.
Yep, facts. Everybody. Mike Nardi, you guys remember Mike Nardi?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike was a bad dude out there, man.
Yep, Shane Holloway, Shaheen Holloway, Al Harrington,
OG for real.
Yeah, man. We had everybody came through St. Pat's, man. For sure.
All right, man. Last question I have for you, man. As again, we talking about it now. You've been through, a lot, on the court and in life. So if there was any, jewels or advice you could drop on, up and coming hoopers, what would you say?
Man, I would say a lot. It would be another hour, on this podcast. But if I can sum it up into one, believe in who you are. I would say that. And what I mean by that is you can extrapolate that in so many different areas, but just believe in yourself, believe in your game, and believe in who you are as a person. And that alone would allow you to overcome any obstacle that you go through in your career, because it's inevitable that you're going to experience obstacles and challenges and setbacks and things of that nature. But if you already have the understanding of who you are, then circumstances, they won't deter you away from who you know yourself to be. It's because a lot of, I'll talk from personal experience. There are a lot of things that happened to me that made me question, who I am, right? And not until I got older, I started to see that these, external situations should never dictate how you feel inside of yourself, right? So because, like I said, it's inevitable to experience setbacks. You're gonna get injured, right? I tore my ACL. I had thoughts of, will I ever jump this high again? Will I ever be able to move this fast? So you're always gonna have things that along your path of being a professional or being an athlete, you're always going to have things that question or test you on who you are. And you want those tests, right? If I walk around saying that I'm the best basketball player in New Jersey, I'm going to get tested. Somebody's going to test me, So if you want to be a professional, if you say you want to be at this specific level, you have to understand that the universe is going to test you to see if you really about that, and I feel like you always have a chance, because we ask God for blessings, right? We ask God for the things that we want in our life, and God doesn't just gives it to us. He creates scenarios to prove to yourself, because he knows, but to prove to yourself that you are able to experience of what you're asking for. So if you want to be, I say all that to say, if you want to be a professional, you have to already make up in your mind that you are a professional. And through any given scenario that you go through, always understand who you are, so you can keep that resilience, keep that ambiguous attitude about who you are, and get through any obstacle that you go through. So I would say, to the youth, and to these, anybody who's watching this, just have that belief and that knowing of who you are. And I say knowing because I think knowing is a step further than belief. Because when you know something, it's like if I tell you what's 2 + 2, you know that it's 4. You don't believe it's 4. A belief is proof that somebody else did it. So people believe in it now. But if you know that you are going to accomplish something, it doesn't matter what happens, you'll experience it. The people who break world records, the people who do things that's never been done before, they know that they can actually do it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It's like
You know,
that
so
like almost blind faith that you can.
Bond faith is you already made up in your mind that you're going to do it. You don't need proof. Nobody else done it, so you have no proof. People have belief because it stems from seeing somebody else do it, so they believe that they can do it too. But when you know that you can do it, it's just a step above belief. And for the youth, man, if you know who you are and you know what you want to be and you stay committed to that, you can accomplish anything. It's not even with sports. It can be anything that you want to do outside of sports. Anything that pertains success that you want in your life, you can be that for sure.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, man. I feel inspired right now. Like I'm just about to, start my career.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. It applies to everybody.
Facts. JP, go ahead, brother. You got anything else for Baden?
What can you say after hearing that?
Facts.
So,
Man, I appreciate you
but
guys, man. I definitely
yeah,
want to say I appreciate you guys
all,
giving me the platform to give back and speak my mind. I think it's obviously we're in a podcast generation, right? And we need voices like this. We need guys like you to tap in to the youth and tap into the mindset of these athletes out there. I don't think we get enough athletes given this kind of talk and giving this kind of inspiration to the youth out there, especially with, kids where we're from, I didn't never had no guy that I can look up to when I was young. Yeah, Corey Fisher and those guys, like I said, was a big influence, but the mindset, I feel like your mind is the most precious thing and the most important thing that you can have on your side, and if you don't know how to deal with it, if you don't know how to, think and how to have positive thoughts and things of that nature, if you don't know how to do that, it can be detrimental, right? So I think, these talks that we're having is needed, man. It's not, now I hope you guys, I already know you guys are going to reach out to other athletes, and I'm excited to, continue to follow you guys. But again, I appreciate you guys giving me the platform for sure.
Nah, we appreciate you, man. Your time,
Yeah. For real,
And-
man.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, you guys got winning the championship for sure. NBA. Winning the chip.
Listen, man, you might think I'm crazy, but I think them young boys, in OKC might have something to say.
OKC winning the championship.
I think them young boys is ready, man. I know the vets is hungry. I know
Over
the
Boston?
Joker. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I could
bro.
I could see Boston doing it. They've been there, they're tested, but it's just something I don't know. Like, you get a feeling with certain teams, like I could see them in the final, but for some reason I just don't know if they'll ever
Hey,
do
you
it,
never
man.
know. Never know.
But I listen, to be real though, I hope Tatum and I like Tatum and Brown, man. I hope they get one.
Yeah, we'll see.
Look,
We'll see.
Let
I
me
like
tell
how
you.
Boston is playing.
Let me tell you something. I respect all players in the NBA. I respect what they do. I'm a lifelong Sixers fan, man. I could never root for the Celtics to win any. Look, they own us. They own the Sixers, man. They're like our daddies, man. For real. They're like our pops. But I would say this, though, man. If Joel Embiid comes back healthy, the Sixers have a shot. But in the words of the great Ric Flair, in order for you to be the man, you got to beat the man. And I'm going with Denver, man. I got to go with Denver, man, because
That's not a bad choice.
I got to go with that Joker, man. Him and Murray as a combination. Oh, man.
They're hard to beat. They got a good system. They know how to play with each other. Obviously you can see the team chemistry is there. They're just hard. They're a hard team to beat. You got a Joker coming down. He like a low key Magic, like Magic Johnson. The way he passing, the way he orchestrating the floor and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's hard to beat a team like that.
Aaron Gordon, improved his game offensively, already a good defender.
Yep.
And like you said, that system, man, like everybody,
they got a good system. They got a good system. So we'll see. I like Boston though. So we'll see. Denver's tough, but we're gonna see for sure.
Well, we got the man himself, Baden Jaxen, here with the crew from Generations of the Game. Again, we appreciate your time, brother. Manifesting it, since we talked about, speaking it into existence. There'll be follow-on appearances. You are officially a friend of the show now.
For sure. Thank you. I appreciate that. For sure.
JP, go ahead and wrap us up, brother.
As you all heard, we had a great show. I'm older, so I can say this with an impressive young man, Baden Jaxen, man. Very well-spoken, articulation. I can tell you've had good people around you, good family, good mentors. Of course, Coach Boyle, Coach Williams. That's what it's about. You had a village, man. A village that raised you. A village that raised you, man.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support, man. I'm definitely gonna follow you guys. So there's some good guys on here, man, for sure. So I keep up to date with you guys.
Oh, also, after we get done recording, I do have a question for you. I have to ask off the air. I do have a question for you afterwards. But look, y'all, for me, for Will, for Baden, we say peace to y'all.
Peace.
We out.